So, to continue with the accusations of Eugenius, he does not think that the ancients did a very good job, and he feels that they let down their own critics because he believes that uh, mm, uh, they didn't observe the unities that seriously. And though the unities were devised by Aristotle and Horace, in fact, Aristotle per se never actually insisted on the unity of place. And this was something which the French came up with much later. And he also points out that there is no poetic justice in the works of the ancients. That is, there is no underlying moral. So, if one had to take some lesson or some moral from these works, it is not possible, because it's not every time that good gets rewarded and evil is punished. So the works of the ancients lacks poetic justice. So the works neither delight nor instruct, according to Eugenius. And he is also not happy about the fact that the work of the ancients completely lack in love scenes. They raise horror by their scenes of lust, cruelty, and bloodshed. So, whereas the scenes that focus around crimes are very intense and very graphic and gory, the love scenes fail to trigger similar emotions. I mean, corresponding emotions. So, these are some of Eugenius's accusations. Moving on to Lycidius. Now, Lycidius, what he does is he builds on Crites and Eugenius's premises. So he does agree with what Crites and Eugenius have to say. So he agrees with the fact that the ancient critics did lay the foundation, and they did have these principles and laws of criticism. And he also agrees with Eugenius in saying that the ancients, the writers, failed their own critics. And in fact, he says that it is the French dramatists who have observed the laws of the ancients to perfection. So they are the ones who have observed the three unities. They are the ones who have adhered to whatever principles were given or were laid down by the Greek critics. And in fact, he says that the works of the English playwrights look downright absurd in comparison to the works of the French playwrights. And he also admires the French dramatists for their ability to borrow from history, to incorporate historical events and embed these events with a lot of finesse into their plays. So they the incorporation or the blending of fact and fiction in the works of French dramatists is highly admired and praised by Lycidius. Also, he says that the French keep it very simple. There is no multiplicity of action, so there is no confusion in the mind. And in fact, they avoid some of the absurdities. For instance, like Shakespeare has in his works, where he tries to cover 30 years within the duration of a single play. So in other words, he's saying that Shakespeare does not follow any unity of time. He does not observe the laws of the ancients. And that is why he thinks the French are better playwrights. And he also feels that the French playwrights manage their narrative technique and their style much better than the English. And they have in fact, though they focus primarily on one character, due attention is paid to the minor characters also. So in this way, he puts the French playwrights a notch or several notches above the English playwrights.